Welcome to Synth Car, baby! Tuesday morning. Just finished the episode of Gas Station. Go check that out, man. There's some crazy deals, but just want to get some thoughts off my chest because I had that podcast with Echo Craft the other day, and near the end of it, we started talking about imposter syndrome. Actually, how it came up was, I said, I'm not a musician, man, you are, you tell me this. And he then went on to say, no, man, you are a musician. And he told me about a book he read that I can't remember, The Artist's Way or something like that. And he said he went through this book, and back in the day, he got confronted with some people who were, he called them shadow people. I think the book called them shadow people. And they were people who criticize what you're doing, and maybe they don't even do it, you know, kind of like the man in the arena style. And I was thinking about it after we talked about all that, and I'm just like, what is it that makes you think that you're not something, or that your stuff isn't good enough? Or I guess what I'm trying to get out, like run through my head is, when you're a musician, are you a musician if you make music? That's what I'm wondering. Are you a musician if you make music? Or are you a musician only if you make music and have a CD? Are you a musician if you're only performing in front of people? Are you a musician when you have your music on an internet, or you're with a label, or you're signed, or you're making money? That's the question. And the interesting thing about that is, I guess you think you're only a musician in those senses because that's what, you know, culture and society says you're a musician. Or like you grow up and you have these people that you like and you follow and you listen to, and you think they're musicians. So obviously you create a framework in your mind where you think, well, I'm a musician if I can get to that point, or I'm a musician if I have a CD, or I'm a musician if my music sounds like this. This isn't music because it doesn't follow the rules that this musician has, you know, like what is it? Verse, chorus, whatever the algorithm is for a song. To be honest with you, I don't even know the algorithm for a song. And when I make something, I don't even follow any rules. I don't have anything that I'm doing of any structure. Usually I'm just free flowing it, and whatever comes out, comes out. And that's probably, I don't know, maybe that's not what you do as a musician. You don't make random music with no guardrails and no rules. Is that considered music? I don't know. If you're a painter and you slap a bunch of paint on a canvas, is that a painting? Or is a painting when you have to take a pencil and you draw it on the canvas first, which I don't know if a lot of you guys know, but that's what a lot of painters do. They draw the picture first, and then they paint between the lines, and then they do that kind of stuff. A lot of painters do that. So, you know, they're just coloring between the lines. But some painters just grab a load of paint and throw it on a wall. Some artists grab a spray paint can and just go spray paint the side of a building. Is that art? So it's very weird to have this imposter syndrome, and I'm super happy I had that conversation with Echo Craft in the podcast, Synth Fighter. Go check it out. Because it really opened my mind, and I've had a friend of mine, Wolfman Love, who used to tell me the same thing, and I tell him the same thing. Whenever you got that voice in your head talking to you saying you're not, it isn't, you can't. Sometimes someone else says it to you and you're like, clicks. But why do you keep saying it to yourself? Why do you have imposter syndrome, you know? It's just so weird. It's such a weird thing to always beat yourself down without even really knowing it, you know? It's just weird. I was doing something with the missus last night, and I was showing her something that I'm working on, and I was like, man, this sucks. And she was like, no, it doesn't. And I'm like, well, but I couldn't even say why I think it sucks. And I think I was saying why I think it sucks because I'm comparing it to other people's stuff. And when I look at other people's stuff, I think it's amazing. I always think it's awesome. And I should just stop comparing, and we should stop comparing ourselves to other people and just be happy with what we're doing and enjoy the journey of creation, and just be happy that you're in a lane, or you found a lane where you can actually be creative and take up your art, and stop trying to put something on it or put a label on yourself and just think it is, man. You just are. Echo Craft had a cool thing we were talking about in the podcast too, and I don't even know if this made it on there because we went and I forgot to hit play for a little bit of it, but he said people used to ask him, man, what are you doing? What are you going to do with your life? And he was in a band at the time, and he was playing and all that, and in his mind, he was a young man, he was like, what do you mean? I am doing my life. I'm doing it. And people are always like, what are you going to do? What are your plans? And that's fine to have goals and plans. I'm not knocking all that, because you need to have goals and plans, I guess, to get things accomplished. But I know a lot of people who got no goals and no plans, man, and they're getting a lot of stuff accomplished. So it's kind of weird. But he was just like, I'm just doing it, man. How come there can't just be the moment where you're doing it? And when you're an artist or a musician, maybe you just gotta just be happy that you're doing it and stop trying to think of yourself as not this, not that. You just are, and you are. Because if you're creating, you're an artist, aren't you? If you're creating, you're an artist. And then the only thing that makes you a good artist is just what category someone puts you in. Because I guess if you think you're good and you feel like you're good and you enjoy what you're doing, it is good. Because everybody has different taste. If there wasn't different taste, there'd only be one genre of music. And if you go on YouTube trending, there is only one genre of music. It's weird. You ever do that? Go to YouTube, click trending, click music, and then scroll through 12 or 15 of the trending videos. It'll actually make your head spin. Very weird stuff going on there. And then if you watch the music videos, some weird stuff going on in those music videos, man. And if you've been following what's going on these days, a lot of the weird stuff is coming to light, and a lot of people making the weird stuff and running the weird stuff are also having the light shine on them. And just like vampires, baby, they're scurrying. And it's all coming to light, man. Dark to light. It is the Great Awakening. If you smell what I'm cooking, and it's going to be an interesting 2024, man. Buckle up. Put on your Hyperloop Warp Speed seatbelt, because, man, we are heading into, you know, when Star Trek Enterprise starts to shake and then it goes, that's what we're doing now. Is Spaceship Earth. We're getting ready to hit the next dimension, man. And if you don't feel it, then you better start sitting down and thinking about it, because you can feel it. And if you can feel it, then you better get pumped up. And don't let all this fear crap. There's a lot of fear going on, man, and people trying to put you down. Like, this is what's beautiful about synthesizers. There's a lot of fear going on. If you think of everything as in frequencies and waves and vibration, if you're on the internet or watching the news or listening to music, that is a frequency that's being pumped into you, and it's like an LFO. It's a low frequency oscillation being pumped out to you that can actually send your vibe off and bring you down to a lower frequency, put you in a weird wave where you're not feeling good, man. So you have to be hyper mindful, hyper aware. If you're going to dive into the normie land or the world of the normie, and you're going to start watching what they're watching and listening to what they're listening to, just be aware that you're getting frequencies beamed at you 24/7 non-stop. So you have to be conscious of what's getting beamed at you. And if you start being very mindful and conscious, you'll be able to start noticing how a certain show, song, person is actually affecting your frequency. And we need to be in top frequency now, the high frequency, because like I said, we're getting ready to warp, and we're getting ready to go into something absolutely fantastic. And it's so positive and it's so amazing. You just got to keep that high frequency and don't let them drag you down, because when we shift, baby, you don't want to be left in the dust like the DeLorean in Back to the Future. Once that hit 88 miles an hour, you don't want to be the dude with the curly white hair standing back there while Marty McFly is on to the future. All right, so you guys take it easy. Get rid of this imposter syndrome. Thank you, Echo Craft. You're an absolute inspiration. You're a fountain of wisdom. Can't wait to do another podcast with you, man. And you just really opened my mind and made me think, and I've been thinking about it nonstop, and I appreciate it, and I want to pass on those words of wisdom to others as well. And you guys have a great day. We'll be back later, baby. That's that Synth Car. Sloo, sloo!